Legal rights for people on an H-2A visa and migrant seasonal farm workers. Are you a farm worker and employed at a farm on a temporary and seasonal basis? Then there is a possibility that you are a migrant seasonal farm worker. In this video, we will go over who qualifies as a migrant seasonal farm worker and the rights that those on an H-2A visa qualify for during the duration of employment. All links to the codes of regulations can be found in the comments section of this video. First, what is a migrant seasonal farm worker? A migrant seasonal farm worker is defined as an individual who is employed in agricultural employment of a seasonal or other temporary nature and who is required to be absent overnight from their permanent place of residence. A permanent place of residence for a non-immigrant foreign worker is that individual's country of origin. A seasonal agricultural worker is an individual who is employed in agricultural employment of a seasonal or other temporary nature and is not required to be absent overnight from their permanent place of residence. A migrant seasonal farm worker, also known as an MSFW, is someone who is hired at a farm for a period of time when labor is needed, and once the tasks are completed for that season, the employment ends as well. An example of this is an apple orchard that hires employees during the harvesting season or to help pick apples. Once all the apples are picked, the employment ends. Dairy farms do not count as migrant agricultural work or seasonal agricultural work because a dairy farm functions year-round and the workers need to work annually, as migrant and seasonal workers are only present during a seasonal or temporary basis. There is a law that protects migrant and seasonal farm workers called the Migrant and Seasonal Agricultural Workers Protection Act, MSPA. You can find out more information about it in the Code of Federal Regulations, Title 29, Part 500.7. This section outlines various worker protections, including general protections, wage-related protections, transportation protections, and housing-related protections. As an H-2A or MSFW employee, there are federal and state laws that your employer must comply with, including but not limited to the following. As an H-2A and MSFW, your employer has to pay all recruitment and visa costs. This means that any costs during the hiring process, like visa applications and flights. Transportation to the employment location shall be paid or reimbursed by the employer. In addition, employers are required to pay for your return trip when the work is done, or when you complete at least 50% of the work from when the contract begins to the end date of contract. The employer needs to provide you with a written contract detailing the specific position, timeline of employment, and wage-related information. If the employer is making you do work outside of your contract, it is important to reach out to the outreach worker or state monitor advocate at 802-863-7676. For workers under the H-2A program, employers need to provide free and safe housing for all of their employees. They must provide meals or a kitchen to prepare your own food. In order to house workers, housing must meet certain health and safety standards guidelines. You can find these guidelines by going to the links in the comments. If it was built before 1980, visit this website. If the house was built on April the 3rd, 1980 or after, the housing falls under OSHA. Visit this website. Employers must provide free and safe daily transportation from work to housing and to the grocery store, bank, etc. Furthermore, the employer must pay you the promised wage with written evidence of payment, paycheck. It is the law that employers must offer you at least 3/4 of the hours that was agreed and written in your contract. H-2A employees are paid H-2A adverse effect wage rates, which can be found here. As of December the 16th, 2024, H-2A workers and US workers under the H-2A program in Vermont are paid $18.83 an hour. This rate is reviewed every year. If you have questions about your rights under the H-2A program or your status as a migrant seasonal farm worker, please reach out to the Burlington American Jobs Center and ask to speak with the agricultural outreach worker or state monitor advocate at 802 863 7676. All questions or concerns are kept confidential and then processed if a complaint needs to be filed. The Vermont Department of Labor is an equal opportunity employer that administers equal opportunity programs. Auxiliary aids and services are available upon request to individuals with disabilities. Free language access assistance is also available.